All right. Hi. Thanks for joining us. I'm going to rename this. This is Designing with Derek. We have just gone live on Reefs. Well, welcome everybody. YouTube, Facebook, X, and Kick accounts. I bet you didn't know we had a Kick account, but we do. Um, this is not going to be super hypey thing. This is going to be designing. The mobile app right now for Reef is well, it works. It works really well. It's actually better than ever. This is the Android app. It starts up better than ever before, faster than ever before. It's telling me to get testnet tokens. Am I on the testnet? No, I'm on mainnet. Okay, that shouldn't be happening either. I have to talk to the developer about that. Um, but anyway, I need to delete this and start over because one of the big things we want to do this year is um, actually a little bit of backstory. For better or worse, Reef has a full stack. Obviously, the chain is there. It's run by 23 different validators. A few are controlled by the same entity, but for the most part, there's I'm going to say at least 12 different entities, maybe at least 15, who are actually running the network. And sorry, I'm not trying to ignore you. I'm just trying to go back and reinstall the app, the Reef app, um, which is proving to be more difficult than I thought because multitasking is not my forte. Oh, it's still installed. Okay. Anyway, so that means that we can actually put together a premier experience, start to finish, when it comes to onboarding to Reef Chain. Um, And this is something I was talking a lot about in Amsterdam 2 weeks ago. It's already 2 weeks ago now, and really resonated with people because I'm not saying these are not successful ecosystems by any means, but Solana, Ethereum, Polygon, Optimism, Arbitrum, they don't produce their own wallet app, and that's fine. They're successful regardless. But we have realistically 10 million, 25 million, something like that, individual people using chains, not just trading tokens, using chains. And I reinstall this now. Um, Aave, for all the success they've had, has since 2020 about 1.2 million users, wallets. So if you account for some duplication or some people who have lost access to their wallets and started over again and things like that, you might be able to bring that down to like a million people, maybe a little bit more. And again, highly successful protocol. I've met Stani. He's amazing. He's incredibly smart. The team he's put together there is fantastic. At Avara, who runs Aave, Lens Chain, Lens Protocol, Family Wallet, which looks really, really cool. I have not installed it yet, but it looks really nice. And anyway, the entry point for a new user to decide should I bother spending the time to get involved in using on-chain apps um, is long. Like your first, you discover something new you want to use on chain. You want to use this new lending protocol on Reef Chain. No, I'm not on Reef Chain because that's where I guess we're the counterexample to that. But you discover something new you want to use on chain, on Ethereum, for example, and you first have to go through dozens of wallet applications, possibly more. Well, not more, but dozens of all the wallet applications to figure out which one am I going to use. Am I going to install Rainbow? Am I going to install Coinbase Wallet? Am I going to use MetaMask or Zerion or Family or what have you? And do I do a cold wallet? Do I just install an app and just go for it? Um, that is literally you can get stuck in analysis paralysis just there and just decide this is too complicated. I'm not even going to bother doing it. Which ultimately is really unfortunate for blockchains in general. whether you have a successful chain now or not. So one thing we want to do is cut down this onboarding time down to 5 minutes. So let's say you discover, I'm just picking out a random name. Let's say Silo Finance has deployed on Reef Chain. It's a lending protocol. Great. You see some opportunities there to earn 5, 6, 7, 10% yield on lending out assets. And you're like, okay, this is worth it to me. I'm going to spend the time needed to on ramp tokens on chain, deposit them. Hopefully, they get borrowed and earn yield. Cool. That process now of actually moving those funds on chain, I think, should take less than 5 minutes. SEPA transfers in Europe take seconds. Same within the UK, bank to bank transfers. Here in Canada, if you use the Interac system, it should take less than 30 minutes, which is not bad. And so if I can move money from bank to bank that quickly, I should be able to get going in less than 5 minutes, I think. Pardon me. Okay. So I'm going to spend some time here. I've got about half an hour, realistically, now that I spent all this time talking, thinking through the beginnings of overhauling the user experience here, at least for the onboarding process, so that when you launch the Reef app for the first time, assuming you don't already have an account, um, that this whole process makes a lot of sense to you. So I've got Figma open here. I used to do this sort of thing. Oops, I used to do this sort of thing quite a bit at um, in my past life, and so I can't show you that. that's that's alpha. All right, there we go. And so we're going to start thinking through here what this process should look like. I do think some sort of splash page makes sense. I don't think the R needs to be as big as it is. And I've got a lot of resources here that I need to load up. There's a bunch of stuff here. Go into the images. I don't think you can see this, can you? No, I'm only sharing Figma. If you have a comment, feel free to drop it in the chat. I do have a chat here, chat interface. I don't know. I think I'm only going to get YouTube. I might get X comments as well. But anyway, this was not announced. I just wanted to like go live and start doing some stuff and show you what we're thinking. So, all right, so what are we going to do here? First, we're going to go in here and we're going to get some Reef assets. And yeah, that's nice. Okay, let's start chopping some stuff in here. Although, okay, I'm supposed to be wireframing. That's what I came here to do. But we have some really nice pre-existing assets we can use here. So let's just throw that in. Right about there. And then we can throw in, just because this is not a huge deal, we're not going to use the R, all the flowers and stuff, not flowers, the coral and things like that. Why? It's messy. It's beautiful, but it's messy. And I don't know. First of all, we definitely don't need a video here. The thing literally moves. That's extra resources. It's extra file size. I'm sure that's embedded in the app, which is absolutely not necessary. So, where is Reef Logos? There we go. I just need, actually, the actual name, I think would be best. Let's drop this in here. It can be a little bit smaller. Doesn't need to be so in your face. Something like that. And then, oh, I see something in the chat. When Binance. Bro, does it look like I'm here to talk about Binance? We were on Binance. We're not on Binance anymore. And I don't foresee that happening again anytime soon. So just move on. Move on with MEXC, Gate, CoinX, Hotcoin next week, Whitebit, a few other ones we're working with. Like just move on. Anyway, we're going to drop our new slogan in here because I think that'll be nice. And we're going to make this a little bit bigger. Do, 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 do. We're going to center that. Boom. We're going to move this a little bit further down. And then, okay, now I'm actually going to wireframe, like just do like black and white stuff. So we're going to we need a rectangle here. We need it to be much wider than that. And we need some corner radius too. Definitely need some corner radius. Why is that not working? Okay, I'll just type the number in. That's fine. 25 is good. 400 wide. Yeah. So what is this button gonna say? Launch, next, create account. Right now it says next. So, I mean, next what, right? Like that doesn't make a whole lot of sense. So let's bring this down to like 36 and let's say, by the way, this font, Inter, I really, really like it. It's nice. It's super, whoops. It's super clean and I think 46 is good there. And it just works. So to bring this down to like 36. Oh, shucks. I keep trying to mess with things instead of worrying about typing. Let's just go create account. And actually, yeah, we need two options here. If you already have an account, obviously we need to give you the option to use an existing account. So I'm going to make this a little bit, actually, no, we don't need to make that smaller. We'll just add some more background to it because the visible part here is actually quite small. I can actually make this a little bit bigger. There we go. Move it down, 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 down. There. So create account, and we're going to be using the word account. Why? Because people don't know what a wallet is. Load existing account. You do. You're watching this. I'm not saying you don't know what an account is, but a lot of people, they don't understand this term account. And I think it's unnecessarily, what did, oh, interesting. I thought I was expecting that to move a little bit further to the left. There we go. Make these the same size because they're both equally important. Okay, that's 36. That's good. That's 36. So, okay. So now we're in a place here where what's actually coming up makes a lot more sense. And I just realized we need to make this white eventually. No, not there. Where's the text color? There we go. And I need to replace this with the white version of the logo, which I know I have here somewhere. There it is. Whoop. Why? Because dark mode everything. Not everything, but dark mode a lot of things. And I just think that's better here. Especially, Lord knows we have plenty of people who are online late at night, which is like that for now. Cool. And then we're going to fill the background of this image here. This color. That didn't work. Where are my layers? Oh, that didn't work at all. What the heck? Okay. Oh, there we go. That's working. Okay, but we need to move it to the back. There we go. And then we need, not effects, we need the fill to be this color. That's so pretty. And it's a lot more functional than what we have right now. Because to remind you here, for anybody who's just joined us a little bit later, this is the onboarding screen right now. Sorry, I should have had this set up better, but it's kind of haphazard. So this next why whoops why am I be asking or why am I being asked to do something next? Not to mention why am I the blockchain for DeFi NFT and gaming? This is not the best stuff to put on your splash page. Now, if you hit next here in the existing app, boom, that's it. You're being told, here's your $0 balance. You're being shown your lack of tokens, your lack of NFTs, etc. There's no real onboarding process here. So for now, I can completely ignore what's going on here because there's really nothing to show. So, all right, from now on, it's going to be pure black and white or grayscale. We're just going to focus on actually wireframing things. I am going to move this a little bit further down. Actually, no, I'm going to make this a little bit bigger because it's pretty, deserves to be seen. We always get compliments on the branding, which Grifflin, well-known company in the space, put together for us years ago. Just gonna have this, not this to touch. There we go. There, that's good. Hopefully we can make that happen in reality. Um, good, nice. So what do most, yes, I'm literally pushing pixels, but spacing matters. Okay. I like that. If you don't like that, let me know. If you have, and by all means, like while this is not necessarily going to be crowdsourced design, if you have an opinion on where things should go or how things should look, we want to hear it. Ultimately, you're going to be one of the people using this app at the end of the day. Splash. And if you hate it, let's assume create account. Then that's no good for us. So if you are making a new account, what should that look like? First of all, we need to make this much smaller. And this we can embed up here somewhere. Not quite that high, obviously, because whether you're on Android or you're on iOS, obviously, you need room at the top to do other things, right? You have your notification shade or whatever you want to call it. So I'm going to bring this down about. Okay, that was at 0, right? Oh no, that wasn't at 0. Where was that? Oh, it was at 0. There we go. Position. Make this like 50 and 50. Maybe not that much here. 25. I get these even numbers. 20, 50. 60. I think that's good there. All right. And let's get rid of that stuff. We definitely don't need that now. I'm trying to think. Okay, there is an account creation procedure here. Whoops, did not mean to take that. So if you go add an account here, the mobile app right now presents you with options you're already familiar with. Obviously, if you've selected from the home screen that you're going to make an account, you don't know what a recovery phrase is, or you probably don't know what a recovery phrase is, JSON file, QR code, etc. Those are great for the load existing account options. So if you create a new account here, I'm going to cover this, but you get a heck of a procedure here, and things don't align properly either. So I think what should actually be happening here. Hmm. First of all, I don't think your 12-word recovery phrase should be seen here. That should be hidden at the very least. Second of all, I do want to see us move to a mode where the primary backup option is encrypting it and uploading it to your Apple iCloud account, or encrypting it and putting it on your Google Drive or Google One backup or something like that. Because not that it's an unnecessary step, but it doesn't have this backup doesn't need to happen now at this point in time. I hope you can understand what I'm thinking there. So what I'd like to do instead is I really like this idea that I've seen recently. I think it's a good user experience of actually loading up almost like a reverse notification shade from the bottom. So what does that mean? That means no, we need this. There we go. I know what my problem was. I keep hitting T instead of R. Again, can I just do the top two corners? Oh, there's actually preset radius. That's cool. Okay, let's just go with 25 for now. We won't apply that at the bottom. Maybe I'll actually move this down a little bit so that you don't see it, and that way the developers don't think I'm actually trying to make that happen. But okay, so you need there we go. You have your shade here, and you're gonna have, first of all, I think we need to do away with these very polka dot specific, close that again, um, indicators. And if we are going to keep them, I think they need to be um, reduced in importance. But I think we can actually do away without it entirely. So you're going to have your account address. And obviously, this is center aligned. I need to fix that. There we go. Your account address should be somewhat prominent. I want to standardize all this stuff here. Position, let's go 40. That's good. And then you'll have another box in here. Let's make that lighter. No, not darker. Let's make that lighter. There we go. This will come out at 40 as well. Again, I like to keep things really consistent. So we'll add this here, and then we'll make this another 20. No, another 30 pixels down. That's good. We can make this, what, 500 pixels across? No, 600, 700, little less, 680. No, 700 was better. Okay. And then yeah, that's the right button. And then your 5p, no, left aligned again. Let's move this forward. There we go. And let's middle align this here. There we go. That's nice. 5p. Why? What the heck? Why does it keep moving? Oh, I know why. I'm hitting the wrong button. This one. There we go. Okay. 44. No, 50. There. Yeah. Da, 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 da. Cool. I don't know if that's 42 or 48 characters or not. It doesn't really matter. Okay, what do you need to do now? You need to have you don't need to have a copy button. I don't really know why. I think we've got a copy button right now. Yeah, I don't know why we have that. That's not important right now. What we can do is have an option here that's called backup. Yeah. Okay. Oh, there. Back up to cloud. And if you're on, um, Apple, then it'll be your iCloud account, and if you're on Android, obviously it'll be your Android account, your Android One backup, and okay, that's good. And there we go. That's what I was getting messed up. Okay, backup to cloud, and I think that should just be a simple checkbox, to be honest. Um, or maybe a radio button. So there'll be yes or no. Whoa, that's really big. Okay, then what would you decide on? 30? Okay, let's add a stroke so I don't lose this thing. And add some fill. Um, I guess we should just match this color here. There. And this is huge. Half the size. There you go. That's better. I'm going to make this say yes. Oh, that didn't work. There we go. No. I think that's good. Backup to cloud. No. Um, if yes, it should just move you along. If you click no, then we can show you your recovery phrase and remind you to put it somewhere safe. And then you can do that. I think that's about it here. Uh, one thing we want to do, I'm just gonna delete this account after. It doesn't really matter. Oh, okay. So then we need a descriptive name. See, and here's it's things like this where it's like this doesn't need to be on a new screen. Oh wait, 3. There we go. So we do want to make you, or at least encourage you to give it a name. So account nickname. Let's call it that. We'll just say like personal, something like that. And then, yep, I've saved it. Let's go next step. Enable biometric authentication. Yes. So this is really important. What I think we need to change about Reef Chain Wallet is when it does biometric authentication. Right now, it does it on startup, which is fine, but adds time to startup, adds time to actually go use an app. Um, Rainbow Wallet and Rainbow Wallet, which I really like for this, does it when you're actually going to do a transaction. I think that's way more significant because getting into somebody's wallet, I mean, sure, that's not the sort of thing that's ideal necessarily, but ultimately what you really want to prevent them from doing is actually sending money on your behalf, spending your money, dumping your wallet, right? And withdrawing it somewhere else. So, and presumably you already have biometric authentication on your phone these days. It could be Face ID, facial recognition. It could be a fingerprint of some kind. But either way, you've probably already got it. So I don't think it's important to have on startup, but we can still ask you, we can still give you the opportunity to enable biometric authentication and to set a password. Although setting a password is really only important for moving an account somewhere else, or it's one or the other. Okay, yeah, we do take that away. So, but this is the thing: you don't see that now. Try to show you. You don't see that option go away until you select biometric authentication. So again, you think like, oh my god, I have 3 more things I need to fill out. maybe not that drastic, but regardless. And then all of a sudden you're like, oh, okay, I don't need to set a password for my account if I'm going to use biometric authentication. So what this should be is, are you going to use biometric authentication? Yes or no? Cool. Let's assume you are 51. Use uh, Face ID slash, yeah, but Face ID is a branded thing. Okay, use facial slash fingerprint authentication. Yes, no. If yes, no other options. If no, a different option. If you click no here, then the password thing should show up, right? Because you're opting out of using something that's pretty secure and really convenient, and that's fine. You have that choice, but you don't have to. So what we really need here is these four things. And then I think that's about it. Once you have all that, I think we can give people the ability to say uh, yes or no. I'm going to fill this in with like the opposite so that we see it's a different color, obviously, than the background. Um, next. I think next here is fine. Okay, one more here, and then I think I've got to go. Create account two. Here, what I really want to do is now expose people to the Reef name service. It's opt in, you don't have to claim it, but for people who don't have a .reef domain yet on their attached to their wallet, we're working with Mr. Dapps to make it possible for you to claim a free .reef domain. So what's that going to mean? It's going to mean that it's really, really easy for people to actually start using .reef domains. Um, you know, DerekSilva.reef, Denko.reef, Bene.reef, MPH.reef, etc. So that's really a core part of the experience. And instead of thinking like, oh, what's my wallet address? I need to copy it. Or I need to show you the QR code or whatever. If you're transacting with somebody and they just need to send you tokens or they're going to send you an NFT because it's a gift or whatever, being able to type in DerekSilva.reef is much faster and easier, or even shorter potentially than what, an even shorter domain than here's my QR code, scan that. Or here's I'll text you my wallet address. So I'll send it to you on Telegram or something like that. Just tell me it. Like, I don't show people a QR code for my email address. I just tell them what it is. They type it out or my Telegram username. Sometimes we use a QR code for that, but Telegram usernames can get complex. But anyway, uh, would, oops, what happened there? There we go. So what are we going to do? We're going to say would, what happened? Oh, okay. There's two of them. That's weird. Okay. Wouldn't you like to claim a free username? Simple. And in this case, we move some things around here. So I don't need all this. Let's get rid of all this. Don't need, well, no, I'm going to need some of the, I'm going to reuse some of this. Okay, what am I going to do? I'm going to move this, move this. Whoa. How did I end up with two of everything? What the heck? Okay, no, that one's fine. Oh, that's so weird. Okay. I'll go up and clean up the layers later. Anyway, no, that one's fine. And what about this? That's fine too. Okay. Would you like to claim it for username? Let's move this down. Okay. We'll move this all back up. Yeah. And then how far? 367. Okay. If I move this to this one. 367. Okay. 354, 55, 56, 57. 367. Okay. Looks a little off compared to the screen before, but that's okay. Yeah, that just doesn't look far enough, does it? Not if we're keeping the spacing consistent. Can I? Oh, I can too. Nice. Okay. Oh, wait. I need this question. Okay. This is why designers or UX professionals don't do full designs the first time out because inevitably you have things you want to move around, and then I am the reef god. Reef. There we go. And then yeah, if you do full designs first time out, you just end up with um, things you need to move more often. Oh, I nailed that. That's perfect. Okay, good. So then you've got your box. You're going to type that in. You're going to write claim. We'll just leave that there for now. Obviously, we can space this out a little bit more, but I wanted to design this kind of more or less the way it's got to be. I don't want too much spacing, but I do want it to make it easier to differentiate what's happening next at the same time. Like these could all be bolded, right, to add a little bit more distinction. We can also move these a little bit to the left if we need to, or make the text a little bit smaller. I don't want a big, long question. Yes, okay, I am the reef god. It's our reef. And then we can take you to, um, so you have your descriptive name, test 7, enable bio authentication, add account. Cool. And then we can actually bring you to the home screen where stuff. But no, and here's why. You don't have anything. You don't have anything to, you can't do anything yet. So ideally, what we'll do is actually show you a Fiat on-ramp um, option. Okay, so, and again, this should be opt-in. Would you like to deposit funds now? Yes, no. Um, let's assume yes. Okay. And then this is going to have to move way down to the bottom. We need probably about. No, that's too far. I know that's too far, but I'm thinking more Android too, because a lot of Android devices have the action bar at the bottom now, including mine. Just gonna see if there's any chatting over here. No, but 141 people. Hi, thanks for watching. Appreciate it. Again, if you have feedback, feel free to drop it in here. I'm actually going to check the Reef account real quick. Um, oh, okay. I'll be right back. Sorry. Give me one sec. You're all still here. Wonderful. Okay, we have a couple minutes left. So then it's going to be a Fiat on ramp. Guardarian provides Fiat on ramp services, Alchemy Pay, Transact, MoonPay, a bunch of other ones. I think we've got one picked out that we want to work with, but I'm going to keep this generic for now. Ultimately, what we can do is just kind of copy and paste one, like an interface for now, just so we get the idea here. So I've used Transact before. I'm going to resize my window here, my browser window, which you cannot see. And let's see if that's thin enough. Nope, a little bit thinner. That's really thin. Okay, let me just gonna make it a little bit bigger. Okay, that works. Um, Gonna be more real. Oh, Canadian dollars is fine. Reef's not here at all, so we'll just leave it as ether. That's fine. So for today's purposes, we're just going to squeeze this in here, an existing interface, just so we can envision what this will actually look like. Okay. Hope you don't mind. Also, because I'm running out of time here for this session today, I've got something else I need to do in 5 minutes. I started this a little bit later than I wanted to, which obviously it kind of cheats you guys of what I was, wanted to do here. But um, yeah, this is, the kind of thing. I at least want to show you all what we're thinking of. And you know what? We can actually improve this too. We're gonna do what's called a presumptive close here in sales. And a presumptive close means that you assume, oh, that's not what I wanted. Okay, so obviously I need to move this up. Where does this start? 394, 376. Oh, that's interesting. 391. Aha. Whatever. We'll just leave it there. And if you don't want to go through this process, what we can do is offer you a skip button. Okay. Um, Before that, uh, oh, okay. What we want to obviously give you the choice, right? So um, we have two options here. One could be here's the fiat on ramp. Hopefully your country is supported. Go, right? If you don't want to skip, the next page could show, okay, well, here are some exchanges where you can buy Reef on Reef Chain, MEXC, Gate, CoinX, Hotcoin really soon, Whitebit, etc., depending on where you live. Um, and we could show you that on the next screen and still give you the option to skip for whatever reason. I mean, you need to put tokens in here at some point. Um, Or we can show you the option. Would you like to deposit funds now? Yes or no? Yes. Click here to fiat on ramp. Or here's a list of centralized exchanges. No, just get you straight to the wallet app there. The other thing we do need to do is explain to people what an EVM address is and why they need to get one. But we can only do that after they have tokens. So it'll be part of the onboarding process for some people. It won't be part of the initial onboarding process for everybody. Um, yeah. So anyway, here's the beginning of a completely new user experience, at least for onboarding or the Reef mobile app. I mentioned earlier, or I've mentioned on Telegram and on Discord, there is a new build. It's in testing right now. I need the developer to get rid of this function, the fiat on ramp we did have embedded here before because it doesn't work. We don't know why, and the company that was supporting it is being incredibly unhelpful. So instead of fighting with them, we're just going to move on. Um, but for now, obviously, there's no point in having a button there that doesn't do anything for you as a Reef user, regardless of whether you've got tokens in your wallet or not. So we're going to get that removed. And then we can actually release that out. And then the Android app is, fingers crossed, fixed. It'll be the same experience you're used to already, but it'll be fixed. It's loading on everybody's devices. People who were having trouble with the app before have already confirmed they're not having issues launching it anymore. So that's it. But um, yeah. So and then I think the iOS build is ready, but we're waiting for renewal on our Apple developer account. So as soon as that's done, we can get the iOS version out properly. It'll be slightly reduced in functionality compared to the Android app, but we will work really hard with Apple to bring those features and functionalities to the iOS app shortly thereafter. So, thank you for watching. I've got to wrap this up, but really appreciate you over 100 people, 160 people tuning in, checking this out, thinking along with me perhaps about how to make the user experience better. Like I said, we have full control of this stack here, so we have a really unique opportunity to make it a premier um, onboarding experience for everybody, and that's what we want to do. I want people to get through this whole process in less than 5 minutes, even if they're a brand new user. And that's not, you can't onboard, you can't go through that decision tree as a brand new user to a blockchain in less than 5 minutes, unless your friend or your family member is literally telling you what to do. Download this wallet, go to this exchange, it works in our country, KYC or not if you have to, etc. It's just if you don't have somebody guiding you, it's impossible to do in 5 minutes. You will get stuck reading reviews upon reviews of different wallets, watching tutorials, etc. And there's no reason for that. So anyway, I got to wrap this up. Thanks so much for watching. I will do this hopefully again sometime next week. And if you want to drop some feedback, feel free to do it on X. Feel free to do it on Facebook, where this is streaming, Telegram, Discord, Reddit, even. I will read it somewhere. Thanks. Have a great weekend.